if you try to change anything, then you butt heads with the lobby community and the money that it wields within Oregon politics. One of the things that I came to realize that I didn't know until I actually ran for office was that all of the interests, the special interests, the lobbies, the single issue organizations, all of them in Oregon seem to share one commonality, and that's they don't like things to change. They like to keep the players the same, and they don't like things to change. And if you rock the boat, there's more than a few people that are more than willing to help you get out.
Yeah. So can you share how that works? The lobbyists work through the House and Senate in Salem. And then there's the group that I reflect as a delegate. When I was a delegate, I would go to and help define the party platform. And we're just, most of us were Christian conservatives. Down the line, we, for a lack of better word, pretty much a Tea Party type. We are authentic, and we want to keep things, our Constitution preserved.
Sure.
But usually the money's not there. How does that work?
Well, politics in Oregon is basically, there's three entities. There's the county party, Marion County Republicans, Yamhill County. I'm chairman of the Marion County Republican Party. We have a state party, Oregon Republican Party, and then we have in the House and in the Senate, we have the caucus, which is a group of Republicans. In the House it's 28, in the Senate currently 14. And to illustrate generally how people are selected and elected in Oregon, the county party, our party, might operate on a budget of about $10,000. The state party in a good year may have $500,000. The lobby community operates on a budget of somewhere between $12 to $13 million, or I should say the caucuses and the lobby. And so what happens is that the lobby community, and that's special interest groups, many who reflect our values, like Oregon Right to Life or the Oregon Family Council, or Oregon Association of Industries, things like that. They're conservative, they reflect our values, but they make up a big group that funds all of the candidates. Most candidate campaigns in Oregon are funded by lobby money. And the problem with that is each and every dollar that the lobby spends on any candidate comes with strings attached. If you run for office and I say, well, I'll put up 200 grand to get your campaign underway, but this is the one thing I want from you, Veronica. If it were me, I would say, I want you to vote for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, no matter what. Well, some lobbyists, have very much more special interests than that. And so what happens is you have 700,000 Republicans in Oregon. We coalesce at the county level. We elect delegates to go to the state level to elect our leadership at the state level. And we go out into the communities as precinct committee people and talk to the voters in our neighborhood. And so we find out what's important to the Republican voter. We bring it back and share it with our elected officials. And so what happens is you have this 700,000 mass of voters, and then you have this caucus that really only has an audience of very few, and that audience is the lobby community. So there's a disconnect sometimes between the voter and the elected official. And we try, at the county level and the state level, we try to fill that gap, try to bring our elected officials closer to the voter.
Right. So when people say Republicans and Democrats seem like they're all the same, that's generally not true on a grassroots level. Like in our county, we are Republican, conservative through and through. And if people have a problem with Republicans, they might look at the platform and realize just really what a wholesome platform it is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, people get mad, John Boehner, Mitch McConnell, you hear that, Karl Rove roll off their tongue, and they point that towards the county party. Well, all you have to do, or you've been there, but anyone else just has to show up at the county party and realize these are not John Boehner and Mitch McConnells.
It's almost like going to church there.
It is, yeah, it is. We're conservative, hardworking people. We're not all a bunch of rich, white, businessmen smoking cigars. We're average, ordinary, everyday people, and I encourage everyone to get involved in the party.
Yeah.
In Marion County, we have precinct committee people. There's one for every 500 voters. We have room for 617. We have 207 of those filled. So we have room for 400 more people to become voting members of our party and affect party politics in Oregon.
So Marion County is a very conservative county.
It's a very conservative county, yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
All right, thank you for sharing all that. That's interesting. It puts a whole new light on really why do some of these people get elected, and it's only because they have tons of money for advertising and signs.
Money is not necessarily, obviously money is not evil. It's the love of money that's evil. Yeah. But money is a necessary, it's the mother's milk of politics. It's necessary to if you have a message of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, it'll cost you $150,000 to get that message out to everyone in your district. And that's just the way it is. That's mailing, that's television, radio, whatever it takes. And so money is very important. The question is, whose money is it?
Yeah. Is it special interest money, or is it?
Or is it our money?
Yeah.
See, in Marion County, I've asked this question. If you know 10 Republicans, I'm sure.
Yes.
Or just 10 conservatives, let's say. Of those 10 conservatives, how many do you think are willing to do just a little bit more than vote?
Yeah, not too many.
2 out of 10?
Yeah, and probably not even half of them will put something on the back of their car.
Yeah. So I asked this question in Marion County. I said, we have 54,000 Republicans there. What if 2 out of every 10 Republicans were willing to do just a little bit more than vote? And that little bit more is to contribute $4 a month to the county party. And people go, well, $4 a month, what does that do? Well, if you extrapolate that out over, 2 out of 10 is 10,000 people. That's a $40,000 a month cash flow.
Wow.
With that $40,000 a month, those 207 people that I talked about, the PCPs who make all the decisions in Marion County, they could select a candidate. If it were Yamhill County, they could come to Veronica and they say, Veronica, we want you to be our county commissioner. And they'll write you a $100,000 check to do your campaign. So now when you're an elected official and you win your campaign, who do you answer to? Do you answer to special interests? Or do you answer to the voters in Yamhill County? And so that's what one of the things we're working on in Marion County is to and it comes down to the question of somebody's money will elect your representatives. Will it be special interest money or will it be your money?
Yeah. Okay. I had a thought, and I'm trying to remember what that was.
I'm sorry, I go off on tangents occasionally.
No. That's what it was. Oh yeah. Here it was. So you ran just recently for representative in your area.
I did.
And another guy won. He was more liberal.
Incumbent.
He was the incumbent.
Yeah.
Okay. So he had money flowing through, and his special interest wanted to keep a lot. So the special interest wanted to keep supporting him. Because of the
lobby.
favors,
Yes, the lobby community very much wanted my representative to remain representative, and they were. I'm not sure they were happy, but they were willing to kick in really an exorbitant sum of money to keep that.
Yeah. Okay. Well.